Hello, this is SK Williams, and this is a channel update. Today is the 30th of June 2018, according to the Julian calendar, which is, of course, the official calendar of this channel. However, for the outside world, it is the 13th day of July 2018. Or Friday the 13th. Considering it is Friday the 13th and a rather ostentatious day, I shall be uploading the 13th chapter of the Book of Genesis, thus to somewhat resume my reading of that text. Unfortunately, I only have the audio prepared, and it's a rough cut that I may want to go over again. Plus, I don't have it animated, so what I intend on actually doing is simply presenting it to you with a still image, and then on the 13th of July, according to the Julian calendar, re-upload it. However, there is something else I would like to announce. I intended on doing the 6 Psalms for 2 months leading into July, and then to resume the regular reading of the Psalms that I had been doing in January. But due to circumstances beyond my control, which I have discussed in previous videos, I was unable to do so. However, I have completed creating videos for the 6 Psalms. I have done all 6 of them, and I intend on uploading them one a day starting next week on Monday. So I should on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday present the 6 Psalms, which are, for those who don't know, a rereading of previous Psalms that I had read whilst sick. And if you wonder why I was reading them while I was sick, it's because when I started this channel, as well as my YouTube channel, I actually uploaded 1 Psalm a day. But a lot of things got in the way of that, and I was unable to fulfill them. The Psalms are from the Great Bible, which is being read as part of my project to read the entire Bishop's Bible, because in 1578, the Great Bible Psalms were incorporated into the Bishop's Bible, which was originally translated with its own completely new translation of the Psalms, which I will also read. But they were not very popular, so they put in the Great Bible Psalms alongside them, and then removed the Bishop's Bible Psalms in subsequent printings leading up to the publication of the Authorized Version in 1611, better known today as the King James Version, especially in America. I didn't keep up with it every day, but I did manage to get to 50, which is a good stopping point since there are 150 Psalms. I've already gotten a third of them full. But before I took my break, I had done one a day every day, with the exception of a certain day when I got the flu and didn't post anything, but I made up for it the next day with 2 Psalms. But the remaining 5 Psalms that I did during that period were not well done. My voice was scratchy and I wasn't very focused, and I'm not even necessarily happy with the animation, but I didn't really do new animation. I simply redubbed the old animation with the new reading. It was either that or do new animation, and I did toy with the idea of new animation, but alas, my computer crashed and I had to reinstall Windows. Normally that wouldn't be an issue, I had backed up all my data, but for some reason Reallusion does not store its purchased assets that you get later that don't come with the program, or the custom things that you create, in the same file that the actual program is listed in. It is listed instead elsewhere. So I didn't know that, and when the reinstall was complete, I had lost all of my custom data, and I had lost, well, anything that I had purchased or acquired after that, which includes the Hilltop Church set, which I need to do the psalm readings. At least if I want to make them consistent. I could do it on another background if I really wanted to, but the point is, I had to use Recuva to recover some of the props and assets, and I did recover at least most of the important ones. There are some that I lost seemingly forever unless I did store them on another hard drive or something, but I got most of them back. Oddly enough, none of the S.K. Williams heads were preserved, but several of the bodies were, and the bodies, of course, have the head on them, so I can easily reconstruct that. However, the bishop's version was lost. That would necessitate me, if I want to wear the same outfit, to re-download the Royal Wedding Pack, which I had purchased and was using to read the Bishop's Bible. And I've re-downloaded it, and I'm in the middle of resetting up all the sets now, but I really didn't have all of this sorted out in a reasonable time, and I don't want to delay the 6 Psalms being uploaded for a second time, so I'm simply going to redub the existing animation with the newer, fresher reading. It may not sync up perfectly, but it will suffice for now. With all that out of the way, I also intend on sometime this month releasing the last 2 introductionettes for the college series, and in August introducing the 3 longer introductory videos, and in September launching the proper series. I also intend on loading my first commentary on my birthday, which is July 4th, according to the Julian calendar. The real birthday, of course, was too busy, and by real I mean Gregorian, the one that is actually allowable for me to celebrate in terms of legally. The Julian 4th of July is also the actual 4th of July if you're using that calendar, though, and Mount Athos, for instance, still uses it, as do some Orthodox communities and churches. So I shouldn't have said real, but you know what I mean. At any rate, I should have the first commentary by the end of the month, as well as the other 2 introductionettes. I don't have much else to say. Thank you, God bless, and goodbye. Addendum. I forgot to mention that part of the reason I have formulated it this way is based upon the Bishop's Bible reading. You see, it's been a couple of months since I've done a Bishop's Bible video, and in addition to being the first person to create an audio version of the Bishop's Bible and making this historical Bible available to the public in audio format, hopefully in an enjoyable and animated way, part of the benefit of reading it is that I can read the entire Bible straight through. I've done that before, and it usually doesn't take me as long as when I'm doing this, but it really helps. However, since it's been a couple of months, I really haven't done that. So, during the time I'm uploading the 6 Psalms next week, which I will remind you are already complete, I will be listening to chapters 1 through 12 and possibly chapter 13 again. That way, when I pick up again on chapter 14, I will be up to speed on all the events and narrative flow and be in the right mindset. Again, I already know what's in them, but it really helps if you just do it consistently with fewer breaks that have less time between them. A day or 2 is fine, but a couple of months is insane. So I will re-listen to my old recordings of me reading the Bishop's Bible and enjoy myself reading them, although I may just use the audio formats on my PC rather than watch the video portion. As for the Psalms, after I'm done with the 6 Psalms, I do intend on returning to rereading the remaining Psalms. However, I plan on waiting until I have reached Genesis chapter 50. You see, when I started, back in January, I read 1 psalm a day and 1 chapter a day. I was going to read the entire Bible straight through from Genesis to Revelation as it is presented within the text, with the exception of the Psalms, which I would read independently because it is so long, and because I have 2 versions to slog through. There's actually going to be 312 psalms altogether if you count each version as distinct, because there's 150 psalms in the Great Bible Psalms and 150 in the Bishop's Bible. But there's also the 151st Psalm, which is in the Septuagint, and you have various English translations. Psalm 152 through 155, and a Dead Sea Psalm, which some classify as Psalm 156. This is a minority opinion, but I will include it regardless. So I will be reading 156 Psalms twice, which will be 312 Psalms. Originally, that was supposed to take me to the end of the year, since I was going to take breaks on the weekends. But now, of course, I am not going to complete the Psalms by the end of the year, most likely. But I can wait until I get to chapter 50 to reinstate the equilibrium. I will read Genesis chapters 13 through 50, and once I have completed chapter 50 and begun moving on to Exodus chapter 1, I shall resume the book of Psalms with Psalm 51. And in a way, that's a good starting point. And the weight isn't as jarring with the Psalms, because there are 150 Psalms, so breaking them into thirds is 50-50-50, so this hiatus came at a good point, although there is also a couple of weeks delay between the 50th Psalm and the last one I uploaded, and several days between the others. Nonetheless, after I'm done with Genesis, I do intend on doing a chapter a day and a psalm a day, but I want to focus on Genesis right now. At any rate, I forgot to say that, and I'm sorry. But once again, I shall sign off. I apologize for forgetting to mention all of this, and hope you can be somewhat forgiving of this situation. With all that said, thank you, God bless, and goodbye.